Like every other previous Thanksgiving, the latest one was the absolute best, the most perfect Thanksgiving I could wish for. My first best friend, whom I shared with my brother, he's a year and a half older, almost an Irish twin, introduced himself to us as Easy Money. Why? Well, I always reckoned it's because he worked so hard to get it. I love to help him. In 1958, all store-bought liquids either came in glass or waxed cardboard containers. You paid a refundable deposit on the bottles, 25 cents for a milk gallon, 15 cents for a Coke quart, 10 cents for a pint, and a nickel for these tiny little bottles. Back then, you could watch a movie for a quarter. My mom bought day-old bread at 10 for a dollar, so why someone would pay whatever for that little bottle, a nickel on top of that, and then toss the empty. Suffice it to know that they did. In addition, we lived at the dividing line between poor and lower middle class, and some really destitute people I later learned in life. We were supposed to call them colored or Negro. If we were angry, there was another word that I'm still uncomfortable saying because I know if I did, Mom, the most peaceful person I've ever known, she'd give Gandhi a run for the money. Only ever saw her get angry on two things: in defense of her children, or seeing someone pick on someone unable to defend themselves. And even though she left her mortal coil a while ago, I still don't want to disappoint her. But getting back to the bottles. The better off lower class white people maybe wanting to show off they were better than the poor white people would stack up their empties for our Saturday morning rounds, taking turns pulling that Red Ryder wagon till they got so full that one of us was pushing while the other one was pulling in order to get it uphill to the store, which, by the way, was named Clouds. And then every week, all the same people involved, and the store clerk would try to transaction with me. And not only was I younger, I didn't speak English. Still, I knew how to say the dollar amount, and I did. My favorite part, though, was after counting it to make sure it was all there, and dimes gave me problems for the longest time, I would hand the lump sum over to easy and watched the grocery guy's face turn bright red. A weekly treat. With that in mind, after being played upon, preyed upon, poor whites kept acting against their own interest since this country was founded. That a tool this effective for 200 years would lose potency, cease to be useful this year, raises my hackles as a problem to tackle, because, frankly, I'm truly astounded. It just doesn't make sense, and in my defense, I'm a logical thinker, not driven by fear. I question all stories our news speakers sputter and the gutter talk spewed by political leaders. I fact-check for fiction the diction of pundits who often mislead us for their financial profit. And more often than not, we are offered pure hokum. The words I hear spoken are intended to tender us into just bleeders, either blood or our money or our will, whatever they feel like or as they see fit, so that somehow, in some way, just out of the blue, a spontaneous combustion of lifelong behaviors finally got all them white folk to throw off their blinders to the lies they've believed from their youth. The crashing economy is supposed to have united us, got us acting in concert with our neighbors. The Federal Reserve Board has done this often in the past 100 years, but somehow, for the first time, Whitey finally sees the truth. Please forgive my cynical statements. At my core, I'm an optimist. The pinnacle of positive thought. But even a pyramid, sturdy and stable, requires that you build it on rock. And I do not see any undermining of the base on which was built this nation. I do not. That a flash of inspiration caused such an inclination for Caucasians to have swallowed this shotgun-like idea, locked both barrels and the stock? I'm sorry, it just does not compute. Now, that being a twisted version of an old saying, here's a new one for you. While simple explanations are the most likely solutions to scientific questions, the opposite is true of social situations. Think about that for a while. And now, end of the circle file.